The shortest side of a right triangle is 40 inches long. The difference between the lengths of the other two sides is 16 inches. Find the missing sides, use exact values. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw a triangle. And this is supposed to be a right triangle. We'll call this bottom side the shortest side. It says the shortest side is 40 inches long. We know the differences between these two lengths is 16 inches. So one of them will be x, the other x minus 16. Now, something important to know with a right triangle is the hypotenuse has to be the longest side. So the hypotenuse is going to be the x side, and this one will be the x minus 16 side because it's the shorter side. Okay, so that's the first part. Let's get all of those lined up. In fact, let me draw a little better picture so it's a little clearer to see. So that's x minus 16, x, and 40. Now we want to relate these, we want to be able to put these together in an equation. Well, we know if we use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, this shows all three lengths related together in an equation. So this is what we're going to use, where c is the hypotenuse. So let's go ahead and set this up. A and b, we can use either x minus 16 or 40. And c does have to be x squared. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my c in first. X squared equals a squared. We'll call that x minus 16 squared, which is the same as x minus 16 times x minus 16. And then plus our b squared, which would be 40 squared. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply this out. I get x squared equals, here we'll have x squared minus 16x minus 16x plus 256, or 16 times 16, plus 40 squared is going to be 1600. Okay, combine like terms. So negative 16 and negative 16, I have x squared equals x squared minus 32x plus 1856. Okay, so we've got everything simplified. Now we just need to solve. So first I love when this happens. We can just minus the x squared from each side and those cancel. So now we just have 0 equals negative 32x plus 1856. We will add the 32x because we want to get the variable term on the other side. Those cancel, so I have 32x equals 1856. I've got to divide. Oops, it won't let me write down there. We'll write this over here. So 32x equals 1856. I divide by 32 on each side, which gives me 58. So x equals 58. Now that is my x, which will be here, but we need to find our x minus 16. So we have 58 minus 16, and so we'll just get 42. Now, if you do set this up wrong and you find that your hypotenuse is shorter than either of the two sides, that is a problem and that's not correct. Okay, but for this one, we'll get x equals 58 and the other side is 42. You might even want to label hypotenuse equals 58 and then leg equals 42 when you're labeling it. One way to check this is you can actually plug them right back into this formula. So you can say, okay, 40 squared plus 42 squared, does that equal 58 squared? So you can multiply, you can work this out and make sure that it does equal that. We also can check that one side is 16 inches longer, or the difference between the sides is 16. We can say, yes, 58 minus 42 is 16. So anyway, get your side set up with variables, put it into the equation with a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and then just simplify and solve.